Yo, yo, yo. This is
Yo,
Ocean's View, the podcast. I'm your host, Oshin, little brother Devin Epps. We
it's good.
we pretty much going one-on-one tonight, but it's not a competition. It's not a competition. You know, just shout out to Willie Negro. You know, he has some business to tend to tonight.
Of course.
Ironica, Miss Ivy, she's in Cancun. She's in
She's
Cancun.
somewhere on somebody's beach, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So, the show must go on, and Greg done set us up. So, we still have to come bring our episodes like we always say we're gonna do every Monday or whatever. So, buzz of the internet has been Khaled. Actually, I can't even say it's Khaled's new album. It's literally that song. Because from what I heard, the actual album wasn't all that. All I hear people talk about is the song. So,
go
ahead.
Yeah, it's one of those. I've listened to the Khaled projects that they've come out. This is one of the best in the last maybe 3 or 4 he's put out. It's a solid project, but this whole Lil Wayne, Rick Ross track is all over the timelines everywhere you look, man.
Yeah, you're hitting whatever you're on, you're hitting it. You're hitting it because I can hear it when you hit it.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
Cool. Yeah, we can talk about the shit. It's cool. So anyway, the name of it is what? God Did.
God Did.
Okay. So this was my experience with God Did. I'm chilling. My cousin hit me with like 3 or 4 people hit me with the YouTube link or whatever. So of course, when they hit me with the YouTube link, I go straight to Apple Music. I was like, never mind YouTube. I went straight to Apple Music. It comes up. I don't download the whole album first. I get the song. Fine.
So one track.
Yes, yeah, just the one track. But to see if it's even worth it. So I'm like, oh, Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, Jay-Z. Now the thing about it, this with me is this. When I've always said Rick Ross raps better when he raps
around Jay.
People that can rap. And I haven't heard a whack verse from Rick Ross when he's with Jay. Really can't say with Lil Wayne either. Rick Ross is not whack, so I don't look for super lyricism, but what I do like about Rick Ross, I like his voice and I like his flow, or whatever.
Right.
It's like how he puts his stuff together. He doesn't overexert himself. He doesn't try to get too super metaphorical. He kind of says what he has to say and he gets out of there.
Gets out of there, right?
Gets out of there, pretty much. Before we get to the main course part, I thought, and I'm not a huge Wayne fan. Lil Wayne has maybe 7 songs that I like personally.
No. When you say that, because Lil Wayne has a million songs. So if you only like 7 of his songs, you don't care for Lil Wayne that much.
That's because I recognize that this mixtape Wheezy exists. And I recognize that what he's done with the mixtape, it won't be done again for a single artist. You know what I'm saying? Like because he pulled it off. That's what I always say about Lil Wayne. He pulled it off. Whatever that was, he spawned a generation of rappers. So with that alone, I put Wayne. It's not about when I say the GOAT conversation. He's in a certain space because he definitely has impact. He has a whole generation that looked up to him. So I can't take that away from him. Regardless of how I feel about him, I recognize he has a whole generation that looks up to him that he spawned. So I won't ever take that away.
When I love my rapper Hooper comparisons. To me, Lil Wayne has always been like the Allen Iverson culture, man. He didn't get a ring, but you look around and you see his influence all over the game. Everywhere you look,
I give him that. I definitely give him that. I'm a lyrics first person. So when I hear Lil Wayne stuff, I hear hints of lyricism. I hear a lot of, for me, It's forced sometimes because what people don't understand about rapping and lyricism, just because something makes sense doesn't mean it's hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I say, yo, I stop like red lights and I go like green lights. Yeah, it makes sense.
True.
Nothing dope about it. It just makes sense.
Right. Very true.
Like it's true, it just doesn't make sense. So I recognize that they said I listen to other people that are huge Wayne fans that say stuff like he's fell off at a time. I kind of see where they say that, but I don't get too deep in it with them. But I like this verse. I thought he did his thing on this joint. Like I didn't listen to it. First off, he's still alive too. What you call it?
Right.
I didn't listen to
He's
it.
made it.
Yes, I didn't listen to Lil Wayne's verse with the Jerry Curl face. The Jerry Curl face is when I'm like, let's get through this shit. Like he actually was saying some shit. I said, okay, Wayne.
Yeah,
and
the Apex Predator line was dope. Where he actually touched on what we just spoke about. Yeah, so see,
yeah,
Wayne definitely, yeah,
he did play
definitely
that.
Check, man.
He showed me some maturity on this one. He showed me some maturity that I felt he should have been showing that 8 years ago. You know,
years ago, we still held his hand, right?
Come on, you know, but that's there. So I didn't look at it as comparison because I thought Rick Ross flowed well on it. That's why he opens it up. He's a good one to open it up. Wayne came in.
I felt like his verse was forgettable, but it wasn't trash. Like I can't think of a line off the top with Rick Ross verse, but it also wasn't. I felt like he was a good opener. He was like, okay, this is the type of he set the tone for the track. He didn't wow you, but he definitely like, look, we coming to spit on this one.
Yeah. So I started listening to Jay-Z's verse. And the first thing I want to talk about is the fact, as his verse is going, I'm like, how long is this nigga going to rap? Like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't disgusted because I was entertained for all the bars. But I just was like, so was this a Jay-Z song? Did these niggas feature? You know what I'm saying? Because it looked like he had a lot to get off his chest. I listened to it a few times.
Yeah.
I liked it. I wasn't blown. I wasn't blown.
Right.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. And y'all know how I feel about Jay. I wasn't blown away. I wasn't blown away because this is what he does. I kind of expect this kind of stuff from him. Now, somebody's going to look at this and say, well, because you're taking him for granted. Not really, because I've always felt that Jay has some of the wackest fans out there because I don't be thinking a lot of people know how nice he really is. But what people see is he's uber successful. He's married to Beyonce. You know, I call Beyonce the poster because a lot of women just want to be her.
Want to be her. Right.
They're like, you know, he references it a lot. They're like JFK, Jackie Onassis. You know, for those that know the president.
Got it. Yeah. Right.
President is a totally different level, but you know,
it's the captain of the football team, head cheerleader type of dynamic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that dynamic. Right. It's that dynamic. Right. So I sat back on social media. I got quite a few inboxes, DMs. Yo, what do you think? Because people like, I ain't gonna say people wanted to hear what I had to say about it. Because you know, I'll normally just do a lyrical breakdown of it.
Right.
And I know the verse. 2 days, I knew the whole verse. You know what I'm saying? I know somebody looking like, oh, he's fronting. People that know me know.
No, he knows the verse. He knows the verse.
So I'm just like, I'm like, okay. But I'm not blown away by it. Like a lot of things that he said, it was nothing whack about what he said. But this is the part that kind of had me like, I'm going to have to step back for a second. When people were finally talking about the growth and the things he's talking about. I said, I get that. And I've always said, him and Nas, they always kind of show you where they're at in life. Right. But the difference is, I think Nas did it a little earlier than him. And it's not about kicking knowledge. It's just Nas did a better job of showing where he was at that particular time more often than Jay. And I think Jay always showed you where he was at in terms of finances. He doesn't let us forget when he's made 100 million to 200 million. He definitely walks you through his steps of his finances. But the thing that got Jay a feather in his hat with me, what Beyonce did for him, besides him being married, that's his wife, he loved him. She convinced him to be vulnerable. And
there it is.
There it is. That's the thing that started making Jay humanized, because he almost wasn't humanized. You don't see, Jay looks like the cat to me that's too cool for school all the time.
Right, all the time.
This is pre-Beyonce. Yo, I'm not doing it. Jay, and most people that are like that, those are the ones that kind of set the trends. Is because they're the ones that make people feel comfortable or uncomfortable in doing something. For example, when Jay started talking about, we're not doing jerseys no more, give me a crisp pair of jeans, niggas button-ups. Niggas threw, first off, this is how crazy it is. Not only the guys started throwing that on, club owners started allowing people to get in, guys to get in, button-up shirt, pair of jeans. That became casual gear to get in to a party, club event, whatever. And you didn't feel out of place. So Jay's always had that kind of influence or whatever.
Right.
But he wasn't vulnerable. He didn't talk about him being hurt. We're not talking about a hurt. I'm not talking that bitch played me. Every rapper has a
no, we're not talking song cry. Yeah, we're not talking
we're not talking
vague. Yeah, we're not talking song cry. Right.
Exactly. We're talking I do silly shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, go ahead. I know you're itching for something. Go ahead.
So as you said that, I'm thinking about their discography and how so you know, and me, I wasn't the biggest Nas fan coming up, but I caught up, I got my late pass on that. So we're talking about right around the time of Life is Good Nas, where he starts really giving you the backstory, some of the stories with Khalees, and he gives you his whole life. He laid it out for you. I believe that he was nominated for a Grammy. He didn't win a Grammy for that.
Yes, and the name of the song was Cherry Wine, the joint with him and Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. Right. So, rest in peace. So we didn't really get introspective Jay until after Lemonade. After Beyonce really laid shit bare, that's when we got 444. That's when we got what was that? Everything Is Love, where we really got to see behind the scenes where he spoke on the break with him and Ye. And he spoke on what was going on in that household and why things weren't where they were supposed to be. So that's kind of where the vulnerability came in for Jay, because before that it was all we got glimpses. Like, Jay doesn't even have a social media. Like, we only get to see from Jay-Z what he wants us to see. And until the Lemonade situation is when we actually got to see something that was kind of behind the curtain.
Exactly.
So I mean, to your point, I'm just trying to give people a kind of perspective and some facts on where you're going with what you're saying.
Yes, no, that was perfect, because that's how it was. So when I heard this joint, I'm an avid Jay fan. So some of the names, like I said, it's not OG Juan to me. It's just Juan. You know what I'm saying?
Juan.
We just knew Juan before I knew who Jay-Z was, because we knew what kind of dude was. Juan was in the streets of Harlem and out New York City. But that takes on another identity of itself. So he spoke of Emery, spoke of he gave a little more personal shots and things for this one, but I still feel that this versus Grammy Family, I'm leaning a little more towards Grammy Family. And
there's Drug Dealers Anonymous you can put in front of this. Grammy Family, there's Summer Freestyle you can put in front of this.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. It's there. I mean, being an avid Jay-Z fan as well, like, of course, this isn't the top tier that we've heard from Jay. I think the hype, there's going to be hype with the Jay verse anyway. because
Go ahead. I know what you're about to say. Go
he's
ahead.
52 years old. He's not putting out albums like Ross. He's not putting out albums like Wayne. So when you get a Jay-Z verse, yes, we're going to flock to it. We're going to dissect it. Besides Black Thought, Nas, and some other contemporaries, dudes aren't rapping like this anymore.
Busta Rhymes.
Busta just put out. He put out another album not too long ago. So with respect to those guys, we're not getting this kind of rap anymore. We're getting a lot of we get a lot of that now. Yes. So when we hear Jay, we're going to flock, and yes, it's the best thing we've heard all year. And with respect to the Andre 3000 verse that we got from Kanye, the Cole verse we got on the Benny track. There aren't that many top tier verses that we can really say that that we can really break down that's going to have us in a frenzy like that. So yes, it's going to come with some hype. No, it's not the best verse. It's not the best Jay verse ever. Of course, it's not. But for looking around right now, it's damn good.
Yeah,
goddamn good.
Yeah, definitely is. And that's why I think I didn't talk about it, because I didn't feel like going back and forth with a bunch of people that were enamored by what they were enamored by. And I was like, I understand. I'm looking like, and that's why I wanted to do it here, because I didn't want to make it appear. I don't want to have to go bar for bar, because when I was doing it before, y'all still was telling me, oh, it wasn't all that. So now I'm looking like, this is why I didn't make a breakdown of the joint. That's why I didn't make a breakdown of the joint. I just was like, okay, whatever you want to think, you're going to have people, oh, that shit wasn't all that, it was whack. They try to throw the Lil Wayne this stuff. I didn't even feed into none of those arguments. I just was like, have at it. So that was that. But I'm going to tell you what I was doing. I just finished watching the Manti Teo, if that's how you pronounce it, on Netflix. Did you see it?
I've seen bits and pieces, but I was an avid follower of this story when it happened in real time.
So I mean, what do you know about the story? About what happened?
So this is perfect. Yeah, this is perfect. We do it this way. So I know for a fact that Manti Teo, let's just get into it. Manti Teo was a highly 5-star Notre Dame middle linebacker. Okay, one of the best college middle linebackers we've seen in probably the past 15 to 20 years. Okay, so his talent level was without question. I'm not the biggest Notre Dame fan, but that's neither here nor there. Manti Teo was, I believe, at one point in run for Heisman votes.
He was runner up. He lost to John.
He was runner up for Heisman. So if you know anything about college football, that is the MVP. That's the top award in college football. And this is an award that's perennially given to quarterbacks, running backs. You're throwing a wide receiver every once in a while. But he was a middle linebacker and got runner up for the Heisman. So you know how good of a player this guy was. Okay. He had a girlfriend.
Yes.
He had a girlfriend that he had a long distance relationship with. That at the time, this is 2004, 2005-ish.
No,
we're a little later.
No, it was later. It was maybe around 2009-ish.
Okay, you know what? I was in school. I was in college though. I was in college when this was going on. Okay, so I remember that he's in a long-term relationship with this girl. She comes down with cancer. She dies, but then she comes back.
Okay,
that's
all right.
Go. Please fill in the blank.
Now let me fill out. Okay, it wasn't cancer. It was an undisclosed. Okay. It was an undisclosed illness.
Oh, she was just sick.
Yes, because he didn't know that's what it was. Now, the crazy thing, the name was Lene Kukua because he's Polynesian. He's from Ohio.
So she put the sauce on him.
Yes.
Okay.
And this person did exist. The picture that he saw, her name is like Deborah or Diane something. I'm gonna find it in a second. But her name is Diane. So the person did exist.
Okay.
Now, the person who did this to him, as a friend of his, named like Renaya something, Renoya. He's another Polynesian dude. Now,
right. Soft voice gentleman, I believe.
Yes. Now the thing about it is he played football as well. And He said his whole family played football. I'm talking about he had a few family members that were in the NFL and everything. He said
Oh, wow.
he said he played football because it kind of was just a rite of passage, but he said he hated it because he was really gay. He was really gay.
Right.
So he can't come out. He can't come out.
Yeah, not that world. Not that world, right.
Or whatever. So he says he creates this profile, you know,
right.
just to try to be himself in it behind the veil of somebody else. So he starts getting friend requests.
Whatever that means.
Yes, whatever that means. So he starts getting friend requests. He's getting friends. He's getting attention, and he likes it. So now he has to double down. He gets the picture. He's getting connections like friends. So when people see it like the mutual friends thing or whatever, they're like, okay, they know it's official because it's like if I look at Dad's picture, I'm like, well, I know these two people, so they real. So you know,
so I got it. So right.
You putting two and two together. So he goes through all of that, and the thing about it was, Manti wasn't the first one he did that to. Now, granted, it went to that level because he's an athlete. Like about to win the Heisman and stuff. I'm fast forwarding, but it's a different level of profile of persons. You see what I'm saying?
So you're gonna pay more attention to this one, right?
And the thing about it is, he said inside the documentary, he said when it got too close with the other ones, he just simply unfriended them. That was it. That was it. He just deads them. When they wanted to really meet up, he deads them. But you can't do that with this one. You can, but now he's getting feelings. Manti never met him and stuff, trying to get up with her and everything. I want people to know too, because it was him telling the story too. Because I know he got killed a lot for a while. How did this happen? They gave us a background to what kind of person he was. First off, he was really spiritually like grounded. He had a lot of he was naive of a lot of things.
100%.
He wasn't a person of the world, as you would think that like a 5-star athlete, just because he's been places, he wasn't of the world. Like this is the furthest thing in life for him to think that would happen to him. Now the average person, this is why I always give, and I want people to remember, I got a lot of respect for professional athletes because they've dedicated their whole lives to get there. Now, granted, luck plays a part, but there are a lot of great athletes on the planet. But there's only a handful. By handful, I mean the selected thousands or whatever.
Right.
Like that. Every time I go play ball, after I heard that only 7,000 people in the history of the planet have ever played in the NBA, every time I go play ball, I be looking like, wow, none of us had a chance at all.
None of us.
None of us. In retrospect, you weren't the chosen one. Like there are millions of people on the planet, and 7,000. That is literally a small town.
Ever.
Yeah, man. A small town of people
that's a big high school. 7,000.
That's it.
That's a big high school.
I still have to say, we can get caught up in stuff. Think about it. We have personalities, not saying they don't. We still have to live life. We've played high school sports and stuff. Yeah, you may have some girls that like you, or that's there to play on the team, this, that, and the third. But for the most part, you have to woo the girl yourself. It's unless you were that athlete, outside of that, you have to woo them yourself. You have to learn how to take wins, losses, know when somebody be. But when you're always winning, when you're in that top seat, the line, I've never been in that top seat, but I gotta imagine that the line gets blurry or whatever.
Right.
So why would somebody do that to me? This is what he's thinking. He's trying to get up with her, but he's not forcing the issue because that's not the kind of person he is. We ain't doing that. We looking like, yo, we've been talking for 2 weeks. What up?
Something gotta happen.
Something gotta happen.
Gotta send a news. Something gotta happen.
So they switching pictures and stuff, but they not seeing each other. And I'm
Not
pretty
seeing
sure a
each other.
lot
Right,
of it,
right.
he's probably made excuses. Well, I got practice, I got to go here.
Right,
So you
right,
can
right,
always
right,
make
right.
excuses for why you can't get up with somebody. So fast forward through a lot of the riffraff. The day they played against, I think they were playing against Alabama.
Yeah.
His grandmother really died.
Really passes
She
away.
really
Right.
died. And people gloss over that part. And after I saw the documentary, I'm like, that's an important piece to this part.
That's a very important piece.
Because
right.
then they said the girlfriend died. Now, granted, clearly that's that the girlfriend thing didn't exist, but his grandmother really did die.
Really
So
died.
he was going through something regardless. So the fact that his grandmother, who he knew, really passed away, and somebody he thought he was in a relationship with passed away.
Passed away as
That's
well.
a double down effect. And he's not splitting up the two. He's not splitting up the two. He goes out there, he plays lights out, they smack Alabama, Notre Dame, or whatever. Now, I'm just speeding through the story. Then the person, he, whatever they want to call it, because it's transgender.
Right.
She doesn't get she doesn't get the attention anymore. There's no more attention. The phone ain't ringing no more. The texts of how you do the how are you doing texts aren't coming through anymore.
Aren't coming anymore.
This is it. So guess what the genius decides to do? Oh, it's me. I'm alive. So now he really didn't. He doesn't know what to think because point this, us, we looking like, what kind of freaky shit is this? But once again, I'm not him. We're not him, and we're not grounded clearly how he is in terms of his faith how he does things. Whatever.
His faith. Right.
No judgment. The one mistake I think he did make, though, he told his coach. I didn't think he should have told anybody. I don't think he should have told anybody at this point. But at the same time, that's hindsight 2020. And that's one of those, if this is a person that really believed he had a girlfriend, this is something to really mess your head up. You see?
He fully believed that. Yeah, he had a girl.
He can't recognize the scam. Like I was looking at it like, this nigga couldn't grow up in New York. If he grew up in New York, he would have known better. Or Baltimore, any of the real inner cities, he would have known better.
We'd have seen him coming a mile away, man.
So the crazy thing about it is once everything blew up, because if some people want to go watch it, cool. But once everything blew up, it ruined his life. Like he got drafted in the second round because teams wouldn't touch him. Because they thought he was part of it. They thought he was part of it, like it was some type of elaborate scheme or scam or something.
Because how could you get fooled this much? And on top of that, even if they didn't think it was, like if you couldn't tell that this chick was fake, how am I going to trust you to differentiate between a pass and a run play? Like you're gonna get going on play action every time. every play action play, you're gonna believe it. You're gonna believe it's a run. Coach, you got me. You got me again, coach. You got me again.
Like you think? You know what I'm saying? So he does that. He pummels deep second round. He's got to fight. He's on the Chargers. He's got to fight for his spots. He put this. He never clearly we know he never got back on track athletically and with sports. Never got back on track. And then the part that pissed me off about the whole thing was this now recognized transgender guy. He's like, oh, I just feel so relieved that I can live my truth. I'm like, nigga, you just ruined a life. Literally.
A whole life, man.
Look here. I'm not a violent person, but I also haven't had millions of dollars waiting for me just yet that I knew that was there. And on top of that, I haven't had people around me that knew that I got millions of dollars waiting. Because I'm sorry, something would have went down. And it's like, some people could say, well, violence doesn't need to be, he ruined his life. This is how I looked at it. You ruined his life because you were afraid to come out.
Yeah.
That's what I took from the whole thing. You did all this. I don't care about how Manti got tricked, fooled. We can ridicule him. But he didn't deserve that. He didn't
Nah,
deserve that. He didn't
not at all.
deserve that. People could talk about his mental fortitude and stuff, that why he couldn't just bounce back. His life. Everybody
Yeah,
doesn't
man.
deal with life the same way. I've been through a lot of
Some things,
traumatic things in my life. And through the graces of luck, God, whatever you want to call it, I'm still here. And I've had times that I was low. And you know that we shit like that.
Yeah,
I
we shared
low,
those moments. Yeah.
but I wanted to end it myself, literally. Like, I don't think people realize, and I'm not getting too off topic.
Right.
If you've been low enough, you know when you're low when you walk outside and you don't care if you live or die that day. Like you put this, that doesn't mean you're just gonna go outside and jump in front of a car. That doesn't mean you're gonna go outside and start trouble and hope you get shot or stabbed or something. You really just don't care what happens to you
Just
one way or another. And the thing about that is that's a dangerous feeling because it works two ways. When you don't care what happens to you, you don't care what you do to somebody else.
Nope.
You don't, and go ahead.
I'm not planning to be around here a long time anyway, baby. Like that's yeah, like that's pretty much like so. This can go either way. When you're feeling like that, yeah, things can go like you are literally at the sake of the vibe that you walk into.
Yes, and I just felt because I was asked, well, why doesn't he sue him? And I was like, sue him for what? Like, what I'm saying, like that. Story time. I've been catfished before. Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I was on a few, like I said, when I was ripping and running, I was on dating sites and I was doing numbers. Like, I was doing numbers. Like, and by numbers, I don't mean just getting phone numbers. I'm knocking them down. Boom, boom, boom. Because that's what it was for. Right. So I was talking to this one young lady, whatever. Now, I never grabbed anybody off them sites that would just drop dead. I had a bunch of, damn, you all right? Why are you on this shit?
Right. Why you on here? Right.
Some good eights.
You don't belong here. Right.
Yeah, you don't got to do this.
Solid BA, them solid 85s, 86s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just like, But this joint, this particular one, I was like, okay, this is off top. I was like, this is fake. This gotta be. Because I'm looking like, yo, you can't be looking like this on these joints. But in this day and age, you can find those kind of women on dating sites because that's what it is. So, long story short, me and her talking back and forth for about 3 weeks. And that's 3 weeks. Okay. So I said, okay, it's time to get up. So what up? So fast forward through everything, we've been exchanging. We've already exchanged phone numbers. We've already talked and everything. Didn't FaceTime or nothing. It was just straight. Matter of fact, I didn't even have an iPhone at the time.
I was about to say, yeah, this is ways back. Yeah,
pictures.
I was
It's pictures. It's just pictures. Yeah. We just sending pictures and stuff like that. So
Sprint phone era.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was like, yo, so let's get up, So we had planned it. He's like, fine, this is going to go down. So the day of, I'm hyped. I got money in my pocket. I'm like, all right, bet we're going to go in. We got to have a good time, whatever. And I'm already thinking, good time. She was cool, and I'm going to hit it because that's how I was still knocking them down.
That's how it goes, right?
Why would it be something different? So we get there. I'm calling. She's not picking up. So this was happening all day. I don't speak to her at all till the evening. She finally picks up. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? What's the word? She was like, yo, I got something to tell you. So I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, what's up? I'm thinking at worst, yo, we can't get up today because another excuse. She was like, right. That picture isn't me. So I'm like, well, who is it? She was like, that's my cousin. Now, when she said that was my cousin, initially I was like, fine, go get up. Go on
the phone. Right.
So she was like, I said, well, why would you do that? She was like, because I was trying to prove a point that all guys, this is where it goes weird, that all guys want or not even initially, because that's me bailing out. She said all guys are concerned about our looks. And I was like, yeah, initially. I was like, guys don't want no funny, ugly bitch. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. So she was like, nah, that's all y'all want. No matter how good their personalities are. I said, fuck all that. I said, send me a picture of you. Then because she was cool. We spoke about stuff. We didn't get super deep, but we spoke, and I thought she was cool.
Right.
She sends me a picture. Needless to say, I wasn't attracted. She might have been somebody's cup of tea, just wasn't mine.
Wasn't mine.
So, just wasn't mine. Now, this is where it goes. So after she sends the picture, then this is a lesson part. She goes like this, because I was like, she sent the picture and was like, yeah, I guess you're not interested now. So I kind of avoid the question. So
right.
Because I'm trying to get to the meat of why she did that anyway. Like, really? So I'm like, so you don't think that guys shouldn't like want to deal with a woman based off her looks, at least initially, and then get to know them like that? No, I feel the look should be the last thing. I was like, that's not reality. So then she asked me again. So
spoken like a true ugly.
Huh?
This is spoken like a true ugly. Spoken like a true ugly. But go ahead.
So she goes, so she says, she was like, yeah. She was like, if I would have sent you, this is the part where I had to catch in the crosshairs. She was like, so if I would have sent you my picture from the beginning, would you still would have talked to me? She said you wouldn't talk to me for those 3 weeks. And I was about to answer, no, I wouldn't have, but that would have just justified it with her.
Exactly.
You know what I did? You don't even get the satisfaction of trying to be right. I said, you know what? We'll never know. We'll never know. We'll never know. Maybe, so you like how I look? I was like, that's not the point. You couldn't trust me enough with being who you are. So at this point, we'll never know if I really would have talked to you or not. Maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have. And she was just like, yeah, you just like all the rest. At that point, I was like, you know what? Click.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Sure am. Bye bye.
Like, we're not doing all that. Lose my number. And it was just like, so when it happened, and then like when Facebook and things like that came around and stuff, I was just like, yo, you really could just make up your own profile. Like, and just, it's Cloud9. Like the Temptation said, be what you want to be on Cloud9. And that's just that. So it was just people make up, a lot of people on Facebook, it be their real picture, but they're making up lives that they're not living. And the crazy thing about it is, it's with social media, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you're the person, we've all experienced the person that acts a certain way on social media, and you know them personally, and you look like you fronting.
You're not like that.
Not just dudes, that's chicks too. You like, look here, you full of shit. But then if you call them out on it, you're the hater. You're the hater for calling them out on it. So it's like you got to sit there, grit and bear the BS that they're spewing in the air. I have this one young lady on my timeline. I want you to go. She's attractive. She's actually very attractive. She has a nice body. This chick is literally on her stories. She has a see-through whatever top on. You can see her nipples and everything. She has like some ice. It's like an icy in the shape of a dick and all that. And with the colors now, it should look crazy. And she's just licking and everything. And I'm looking at it like, is a nigga supposed to take you serious? Like, if you want to be paid just for somebody to have sex with you, say that. Just say that. Say that and put a decent number. Trust me, you'll get paid that. You'll get paid that. Or whatever. Dudes will be like, oh, I don't pay for pussy. Now, if I was into that business and she'd be like, oh, $300. Okay. Hold that.
There you go.
Take that. But if that's what you, but don't act like that. But then, y'all guys got to come to me with respect. Ladies, let me tell you something. If you're on camera and you have a fucking ice cream dick or whatever you want, and you're licking it and stuff, let me help you out. Ain't no nigga respecting you as, yo, you gonna be my woman. Now, granted, you may put it on the nigga, and the box might be crazy, and the nigga might get on with you, but a nigga pull up. A man, He
Ain't
gonna
pulling up
hit
for
it.
that shit.
He keeping it pushing. He keeping it pushing.
Mhm.
So this theory of vindication or just being this open spirit or whatever, or you can be all that, but if you think
Yeah,
it's going to take you serious with it, it's not going to happen. And I swear
not
to God,
ever.
I swear to God, my timeline is full of twerking and hookah. That's it. My whole timeline. And like this, I've never really been, I told you I've never really been a strip club person. I've had my run with
Right.
strip clubs, but I've never been huge on it because I don't like the idea of just, I'm not gonna say I don't like it. The idea of me just, here, shake it, mama, shake it. Now I can go to the club and get a nice grill dance with a chick do something. And if paying for it is, oh, well, you want to get something to eat for breakfast in the morning, then whatever,
Right.
so be it.
Yeah. I kind of like I like my tricking to be slow and drawn out. I don't like to throw it all on the table at the same time, right? I might throw them hundreds, but it's gonna come out over time, over dinner and movie and and gas in your car, shit like
Like I
that.
said,
But
I
it ain't
like
gonna
my
be,
tricking drawn out.
yeah, it ain't gonna, I'm not just gonna throw it all on the table as soon as I walk in the club. No, it don't work like that for me. Look, my dick don't work like that. I'm sorry. Like I can't if that's all I had to do was give you some money. Nah, don't my shit like, nah, yo, what you doing? What you doing right now? Don't work like that.
So I was watching The Shy. I don't know
Okay.
if you watched that.
All right.
So
I kind of checked out after Shorty got kidnapped. Like that was
back then
kind of
that was a few seasons ago.
yeah, it was a few seasons ago.
So anyway, there's a situation where Emmett's ex-wife, I can't even call
Okay,
her.
I am familiar with the show though, so yeah, I do know
Yeah,
who Emmett is. He
Tiffany.
took over
Tiffany.
the chicken shack or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's messing with Amon Shumpert. She's messing with him now.
Okay, Shump.
He's like this big time weed dude, but he gets his money.
Keep getting them checks, Shump. Keep getting them checks.
Yeah. So Emmett is messing with her best friend, who he was messing with when they was in high school and stuff, but they always just been cool.
Okay, Lala's gone. Lala's gone.
Well, no, Emmett, yeah, she's been gone because she was messing with Emmett's father for a second.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I got to check back into this.
She's off the joint. So,
All right.
long story short, the way Emmett is treating Keisha, that's the girl he went out to his ex-wife's best friend.
Right. Okay.
Ex-wife is like, damn, you doing all this for her? Why didn't you do this for me? And he was like, yo, I'm a changed man. I'm a changed man now. And she tried to sleep with this cat. And he dubbed her, like, nah, I don't have feelings for you like that. So he tells Keisha was like, good, I'm glad you told me. Don't feel that you can't say nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? So she wasn't mad. So Tiffany, the ex-wife, tells Amon Shumpert, like, yo, I tried to sleep with this dude. And he was mad calm. I like Amon Shumpert's character because he don't be yelling enough. And he was like, so hold up. Did you stop it? Or did he say no?
He stopped.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's a difference. You know what I'm saying? That's a difference. It like, if you would have went through with it, you only didn't go through it because he dubbed you.
He said no,
you know
right. He
no.
said no, right.
So when she told him that she told the truth, I give her that. She was like,
okay.
She was like, yo, he said no. And he was like, well, at least somebody had, you know what I'm saying, some self-control. And so he was just like, yo, so this is all because he's like, you don't even like him like that no more other than that. He was like, so you upset? He was like, yo, you've already moved on. She already, and it's so crazy because I say all that. I've referenced that because I'm asking you now, do you think that people can change? Because I personally don't. And I'm going to tell you why before you answer. I'm going to tell you why. I believe that at everybody's core, they are who they are. And I feel that only thing that can make people change are life-threatening events, kids. It's only about one more thing. Life-threatening events, kids, and it's just you have to, it's hard to change habits. And
change the scenery. Change the scenery.
Definitely thank you. That's very good. Change the scenery can help. But the only reason why I don't think I say change the scenery is because If you a freak one place, all you're gonna do is
you're gonna be a freak. Oh no,
you're
I'm
a
not.
freak
I'm not
over
talking
there.
about bitch that moved to Atlanta because she was ran out here.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking.
Go ahead.
I'm really when I say change of scenery,
All
I
right, go
mean
ahead.
jail.
Oh.
I mean jail.
AKA
That's
jail. AKA jail.
AKA jail. Right. I honestly and truly, I believe that I don't believe that people change. I believe that they can change habits.
Explain that.
Okay, when I say that, I mean like in the most extreme cases, substance abusers.
All right.
So, somebody who used to be, alcoholic, fiend, whatever they were.
All
I've
right.
seen those people get off of drugs, change their lives, and live a fruitful life, post whatever abuse substance they were abusing.
All right.
I've seen, dudes who were ripping and running the street who've become, faithful husbands, and vice versa with women who were. I've seen freaks become wives and be real faithful wives. So I mean, I've
hoes
seen
definitely become housewives.
Yeah, I've seen people change. So I cannot say that because honestly and truly, I believe that I've changed as a person. Well, I'm still me, 100%. But with some of the things that I've indulged in and some of the things that I used to think was cool, I don't think it's cool anymore. So I know that I've changed habits and I've changed for the better. Some people change for the worse. So and that's another thing. Change doesn't always have to be good.
Oh, good one.
It doesn't always have to be
catch.
good.
Good catch.
It doesn't always have to be good. Some people can change for the worse. You can meet, somebody that you were a upstanding gentleman. We all throughout high school. This might have been my man, 100 grand. I could trust him with my life. And you might see that guy 5 years later, and you can't take your eyes off of him because they just give you a whole different shiesty vibe. And granted, people's lives change. They go through experience. Things change you for the better or for the worse. But I definitely think that change is a big part of who you are as a human being. And if you don't change, then you can be left behind.
I like to get personal.
Yeah.
I don't think I've changed with a lot of things. I think I've matured with certain things. I've always say, I repeat it, and I think I'm going to probably get it on a shirt or something, but we'll talk when we get off camera, son. I think when I was 16, I knew who I was. No, I didn't know. At 16, I didn't know who I was. But at 16, I knew who I wasn't. I knew who
you weren't.
I knew who I wasn't. So, and that helped me at that age because it allowed me to stop doing a lot of the nonsense. I always talk about like phases that I went through so quick because I didn't know who I was. I was trying to find my footing in the world like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so it's like, is he from Harlem? Is he from the Bronx? Is he does this? Do you live here? Do you thug here? Do you fight? Do you do this? Do you such and such? You know what I'm saying? Like that. And it's like, I was just double Dutch on a lot of things, jumping in and out and stuff. And things never really worked out, especially when I really stepped a foot outside of the line of who I was in court. It always, like some people, it take a while for karma or any type of things to catch up with them, to show them. All my phases happen. We talking like a week and a half. Like shit, like instantaneously, shit would happen that'll tell me, nigga, this is not you. This is not who you are. This is not how you move. And I was just like, fine, or whatever. So I think one of my biggest maturity spots was with finances. I did some stuff with some money after my mom's passed away that I look back like, okay, I can get, without getting too deep into that. I felt that every time that I went out, I needed at least $500 in my pocket.
Oh, you wilding. Yeah, you was wilding.
Just 500. Now, mind you, some people might think that my job was 26 at the time. Some people might think, well, ain't nothing wrong with that. I have that kind of money. I can do that. But $500 going out for a person who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke,
which is why I'm saying that from the perspective of knowing you,
yes,
you going out with $500 is like the devil's playground in your pocket because A, you don't smoke or drink. So what are you spending that money on?
At all. Now,
Right.
granted, I wound up buying drinks that night because I got money in my pocket.
Yeah,
so
money in your pocket, right.
if I run into a few ladies in the club that I'm dancing with, okay, I got 2 or 3 drinks. That's light. I might have spent $100 on 4 or 5 different women, not at once, just total.
Yeah, around them. Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm going to get something to eat before I go in. Let's just say that's $15. That's what I spent for the night. That's it. So why did I need $500? But I would do that every single weekend because you know how money goes. Once you have it, you spend it.
You spend it. Exactly. It's always in my pocket.
I'm buying sneakers during the week that I don't really even need. Just like, when you got money, options are your best friends. Because that's all because you're not looking at things like, damn, I wish I could buy that. You're looking like, I can buy that shit right now.
Right now.
And
matter of fact, what's stopping me?
When you have money and time, everything's a good idea. Everything's a good idea when you got money and time or whatever. So I went through a lot of phase with that, and then of course ran through a lot of money, and then reality set in. I was like, what the hell? You just ran through X amount of dollars that could have lasted you. But like this, without me saying the number, if I would have not ran through the bread like that, and you give me that exact same number right now, I'm up. I'm up at least for the next 3 years without thinking, and still doing whatever. So it's like I understood what finances were, but it took hardship to find out.
Right.
It took hardship to be like,
one of those.
This would never happen again. So it's just like, it's the same as the person that loves a toxic relationship. Ergo, Blueface and Krishan Rock.
Rock.
Now, I don't know too much about Blueface. I don't know too much about Krishan Rock. All I know is they're young adults. Blueface, they said he signed like some $60 million record deal or some crazy shit just recently, which I thought was crazy, but they said he signed a $60 million deal. Not that he has
too. I said, well, they must be giving him out because Young Boy just signed one too. I guess that's
the. It was Young Boy. Excuse me, my fault.
I would say Young Boy. Yeah, Young Boy signed Cash Money.
I think all these niggas look alike.
Listen, full disclaimer, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed. This is a conversation we've had off air. Nice doesn't know any new rappers. In order for Nice to know who you are, sad to say, you gotta die. You gotta die for Nice to know who you are. Nice didn't pick up on Pop Smoke. He didn't pick up on who else have we lost?
My man.
Who was that?
King Von.
Oh, King Von.
That's my man now.
For a month straight, Nice came in playing King Von, and mind you, Von had died 4 months ago. And for about 2 months ago, Nice just came in like, yo, this is my favorite Von track right here. Like, yo, yeah. Nice, the song came out 2 years ago. Like, what are you doing right now? No, this King Von nigga's all right. Yeah, we know Nice. That's why we know who he is. So with that being said, yeah, you're not going to know a lot of these tracks because they aren't, posthumously. It's not Nipsey. It's
not registered until.
It's not registered.
So he he didn't sign no $60 million deal, but I guess he's successful in his own right.
Yeah, we know who he is, right?
Yeah. So
he's represented. I mean, yeah, for those who don't know who Blueface is a rapper based out of California. He does have the same representation as the game. Whack 100 is Blueface's manager. He does have a fight coming up with Nick Young, so that gives you kind of a scope on Blueface's kind of celebrity. While Tatiana is his biggest hit.
That's what that is.
Tatiana.
That's
Blueface.
What's down Tatiana is it?
Tatiana. That's Blueface. He does have I don't know if it's got canceled or not, but I know Nick Young is training for a boxing match, and I believe that boxing match is against Blueface.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But every time I see him and that girl Krishan Rock, I guess that's his girlfriend.
Yes. Right.
It's always some toxic shit going on.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
when I'm looking at them, I try not to call it toxic, even though that's exactly what it is, because they're so young. And it's like they're just going through life. They're going through life. He has resources, he has financial resources, so he's able to do a lot of things he wants to do. She's about 22, 23, so she's of this generation.
Yes.
Look at my boyfriend, he's popping. I'm famous. He's verified. You know what I'm saying? There's that and the third.
Right.
You know, whatever. That blue checker take you a long way. That's why I can't wait till I get mine. But
So if you don't, so you know, Krishan is from here.
she's from Baltimore.
Krishan Rock is from Baltimore.
Wow.
So I don't know if you were familiar with the story where somebody stole a car from Blueface and drove it all the way to Baltimore, and that's where the car was found. That was her.
Jesus.
And she came here. Krishan is, trying to find her way in Hollywood. You know, she's a female football player. She's done some reality
American
TV,
Gladiator type shit she did
some
too.
American Gladiator type shit. If you know Krishan, you know that she's missing a front tooth. That came from playing football. That was knocked out. You know, her playing her football days. She actually got the tooth replaced, and Blueface went online and said that she was acting different because she got the tooth put in. So she first removed the tooth, got Blueface's face put on the tooth, and put it back in her face. So whenever she smiles now, there is a picture of Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth, but it's a picture of Blueface on the tooth in the front of her mouth. Like it's top tier toxic. Like this is some unstepped on Colombian toxic right here. Like this is blue magic. This is
because
blue magic
she doesn't at this point she's not she won't mess with another guy. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to be more than what dude was. Because that's the thing with Hollywood and everything, all that. You know, these chicks start messing with these dudes. They can't go any lower. Like I said, shout out to my man, the band you got, or whatever. One time we were in Dream Nightclub. I tell people this story all the time. Not all the time, but whenever we talking, I had a good time with Gabrielle Union. And he was there. I'm talking about Gabrielle Wade. Now, I'm D-Wade. If you never see this or happen to see this, I am not saying I did anything with Gabrielle Union other than dance. And you weren't even messing with her at the time. But what I'm saying was that
long time ago.
I was dancing with her. I got a good dance out of her, a few good dances. But the thing about it was, I understood what the motive was for me personally. It was one of two things. If she, only way something would have went down if she would have said, "You coming with me." Now, if she said that, first off, I don't know where I would be right now. But that's one thing. So I don't know where I would be right now. But we already clearly know that didn't happen. But guess what did happen that night? When I'm walking through the crowd, every chick, any chick that I wanted to dance with was all in my face that night. Why?
Goddamn right.
Gabrielle Union showed me love. So I took that night to be like, damn, but that's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if this person is attracted, or you know what I'm saying, to see that I could possibly space with them, oh, I definitely can get up that way. And I had one of the best nights ever in there. So she's not going to learn nothing. Sadly enough, she's not going to learn until she's maybe 30 something. Right. She's going to go through this more than
stupid she's looking right now. Right.
It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not even one of those, you can't even save her from it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I believe that she is a full aware participant in what is going on right now. And even if you were to have that, intervention style conversation with her, she'd rebel against that because it's too fun right now for her. It's too much that comes. It's too much that comes along with it for her to be, stepping away from that right now. Because she'll go back to Baltimore. She'll come back here.
The crazy thing is, probably mess with one of the local drug dealers and all that.
Right.
And so the crazy thing is, Michael B. Jordan, who we haven't heard from a while, he might have dodged the bullet, breaking up with Lori Harvey. Now, she's young as well. Let her live a life. You know what I'm saying? Let her live a life. And sometimes you just gotta realize when you let a woman just be who they are, let them be their what the word am I looking for?
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic, thank you.
Mhm.
Unprohibited, just who
Right.
they are.
Oh, uninhibited. Uninhibited self,
Uninhibited,
right?
thank you.
There
Uninhibited,
it is.
thank you. Let them be who they are, and they come back most times. But when you try to stop them from being that version of themselves, you lose them. You lose them in the mix. And I think we call it whole phases, but a whole phase doesn't necessarily mean sleeping with just everybody or whatever.
Right.
You know, it can be whatever you choose for that whole phase to be. Just maybe the part where I think people, I think on some level everybody misses if you're in a relationship, well, especially if you're in a relationship or married or whatever. Everybody misses that I don't have to call anybody. I don't have to check
Right.
nobody party
Right.
night.
It's like it's been it, and I think that's our generation that sexualizes everything. But that used to be your club going days. That used to be when you were out here running the streets. It didn't necessarily mean that you would sleep with everything. It just meant that you came and go as you pleased. I was kidless at this point, so I made my decisions differently. My priorities were different. But now it's a whole face. Yeah, that's I always find that funny because like when the older folk talk about it, they talk about their club going days or when they was just out here in these streets ripping and running, and now it's just I guess everybody fucking now, so it's just a whole face.
Yeah, because it's to the point everybody's so liberated on what they want to do at this point.
Right.
And people are just so they're so hung up on I'm going to be who I want to be unapologetically. But the fact of the matter is most people are apologetic about the things they do.
Yeah,
Because
some shit you gotta be sorry for.
it is,
Yeah.
to me, unapologetic means you take the ridicule that comes along with it.
Right.
You can't get upset when the ridicule comes and the criticism comes, because then it's not unapologetic. That's the kicker. That's the kicker. You see what I'm saying? Like
you can't
that.
Be mad. You can't be mad about it. You can't be mad at the fifth. If you are in your truth and in your peace, that's where you are. It doesn't matter what we think because you're living your truth and in your peace.
Exactly.
And if you're upset about it, then you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly. It's just it's almost like being on a sports team and being the leader of it. Yes, it's a team game, whether it's basketball, football, things like that. Baseball, that's something totally different. It's a team sport, but individual performances. Like baseball is nothing but a group of individual performances meshed together for the greater team of one. Because that's like the team, you can play baseball, and you be looking like, yo, we suck. You be like, nigga, I went 4 for 5. What do you want?
Yeah, I'm good.
I went 4 for 5. I do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see no errors on my stat sheet. I'm good.
Exactly. So it's like,
I caught everything that was hit my way.
Let's get the most people to have the best averages together and try to win games. That's it.
Exactly. That's baseball. That's baseball.
So I was thinking of sacrifice, and it was brought to me who makes more sacrifice in a relationship, men or women. Now, normally I don't like to talk about the women's side without a woman's representation. But fuck that. Fuck that. Gonna do it. So on its surface, at its surface level, I believe women do sacrifice more. I do. But the problem is this. I don't think men get credit a lot of time for their sacrifices, because it might not all the time be as grandiose as a woman's, and it may not look the same way, but there's still a certain level of sacrifice that men make. Now, a woman might think, you always hear stories of the woman that dropped, that put her dreams on hold to help that man get ahead and this, that, and the third.
Right.
I do believe that certain level of definitely it's authentic, and there's a certain level of sacrifice and things there. But the problem with that is this. one of the worst things that happens in relationships, people, we lose our identities, men and women. And it's not until you lose your identity completely that you start to realize that's one of the craziest aha moments if you're in a relationship when
Yes,
you
sir.
realize I don't even know who I am. When you tell yourself,
This
I
ain't
don't
me.
even know who I am anymore. That doesn't mean a relationship is over, but there definitely has to be a pivot in the relationship at that point.
Yeah.
Because it's almost certain that it's almost kind of like, how do they say, the phoenix is reborn through the ashes, right?
Yeah, rises through the ashes.
Rise from the ashes. You have to, if you really ever been in love or in a real committed relationship and say you haven't lost yourself or your identity relationship, it can be questioned if you were really ever in love. I believe, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of pushback on that. I believe if you've really loved someone and if you've really been in a real committed relationship and things with this, that, and the third, I believe that's almost a prerequisite that you are going to lose yourself, men and women alike. And you, as much as you still try to be who you are, you give up a lot of yourself in that relationship. And it works both ways. The problem becomes when it feels like, okay, I was fine with giving you half of the rib.
Right.
Why is it that you're not? I should always be full. I should always be whole because if I gave up half my rib for you, you should have gave up your half to me, which in essence makes both of us still whole. You understand? And I just thought that out top. I just thought that out top.
Top.
And I don't even
some freestyle shit,
I
right?
don't even smoke. That was a freestyle joint. I don't even smoke. And this is lemonade in the good. This is good. Hold on.
That's a lemonade. That's all.
You get these kind of balls off of lemonade.
All first verse. It's all first verse.
All first verse. So you're still going to be whole. You're still going to be whole. And it's like when the other person isn't giving up that other rib, and now they just have both of theirs and an extra one, and you sitting over here trying to breathe with one rib. This is all metaphorical. I know you follow me. You trying to breathe with one rib, one lung. You can't live with that. You can't live with that. And this is where the issues come in at. And I think once you get there, it's hard. If I have to ask you for your rib, then
it's too far.
Is it already too far? Yeah, because why? Because I'm dying over here, and I had to ask you for a rib, and you have three. Go ahead.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, so it can be a situation where now I will. Okay, let's put some parameters on. Let's put some situations in. Let's say that we're talking about a woman who sacrificed something. Let's say that she's the homemaker of the family. That she stayed home while the husband went out and worked, and she's raised the kids or whatever. Now they're at a time where the kids are of age, they're in school, and she can start to do things on her own. Now, when that situation arises, I can understand how that could be a situation where I feel like I haven't been me for this long because I've been raising our family. You get what I'm saying? Now, in that situation, the man could be like, well, she could be asking for a rib back and you not being aware of it. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like, okay, so in that situation, I can see if I'm asking to, for reciprocation at that point, because the dynamics have changed now. Now I'm ready to ascend back into what I was before, I took a step aside to raise your kids. That situation, okay, we can make a readjustment there. But if there are any kids involved and you feel like you've lost at this point, because at that point, I feel like the person is just taking. Because if I know if in a relationship, if I'm taking, then okay, something's got to go back. I got to give something back.
Yeah.
Okay. She showed up for my basketball game. I got to show up for something for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, I'm doing the pod. I need quiet in the house. Okay, well, I got to give quiet back. You get what I'm saying? Like it can't be take, take, take. And if you're in your relationship and you're thinking of all the things that you've been given and you're not giving anything back, then you might need to do some soul searching before it's too late.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And most times, sadly enough, it's always discovered when it's too late.
It's too late.
When it's too late. Because you can deal with but for so much. You can deal with so much. I think I've always tell people, say tell you broken arm or broken heart. Bring on that broken arm, because that's gonna heal in a few weeks and be back up in there. Them broken hearts, oh God. It's like it's no time limit, it's no timeline on when that joint is gonna stop. And the crazy thing about a broken heart, there's not one thing that can just fix it. I done threw myself into women, and because I'm repeat again, I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, so I'm overly sexualized when I this. So I would just throw myself into multiple women and stuff like that. And that's what I came up with the term edge of the bed sex. They've heard me talk about it before. Edge of the bed sex is this, for those listening. Edge of the bed sex is this. You're going through something in a relationship or not. You just might have ended a relationship, whether it's your fault or not, and you're heartbroken and you're trying to get over it. So you just start sleeping with all kind of women. I'm talking men, because I would hope women aren't just out there going around sleeping with all kind of men, but it could be a thing too. But anyway, you just sleeping with all kind of men, all kind of women and everything, or whatever you want to. It can be men, but what you got to say that this day and age.
Right.
Edge of the bed. After you finish doing what you got to do, whether it was great or not, you're sitting literally on the edge of the bed, and you're looking back like, I could have did without that, because it didn't do anything for you. It didn't feel anything in you. It didn't feel anything in you. And you go through those times, and there's no one event that's going to change that.
Right, because I said because you go through those kind of things, whatever you're trying to pour yourself into, all you're doing is running from the issue. Whether you go out clubbing, whether you put yourself in the athletics or weightlifting, whatever it is, at some point in time, you got to put the weights down, the music goes off, the sex stops, the drugs wear off, and you're still sitting there in what you're running from. And until you tackle that shit head on, you're gonna be at the edge of the bed with life. You're gonna be looking back like, yo, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Because I was running from this. Like
But those are the hard conversations that you have to have with yourself. Because like you said, that idle time, like I said, I don't have plenty of nights. And you know what you're looking at? You're just looking at the ceiling. You ain't sleeping. You just laying down, looking at the ceiling, and you're trying to figure out how you got here, how do you get out of here, this, that, and the third. Because that's why you stay out late. Because if you don't have to think of anything, you can just keep running and everything go.
Keep it moving.
At some point, that's it. The club is closed. You drive home. You there. You in the house now. You turn off the lights. You just in the room like this, just looking up.
And shit and all the problems were waiting for you to get home, baby. That's
they
all
like
it was.
They sitting problems sitting there. They were like, "Oh, you enjoyed yourself out? Oh, well, now we're gonna think about all that shit that you avoided for the past 7 hours. Here they are, right here. Here's my friend. Depression is sitting over there, and sitting right there. I think you already know suicide. I think you already know my man toxic. They all just sitting there in bed waiting. Like now, I ain't gonna lie. The one thing that I did say I'm no longer saying. I haven't said it. I'd always be like, this is just on kind of on a side note. We talking about the problems and stuff. I used to always say stuff like, yo, like I'm about to make a deal with the devil. And I stopped saying it one night because one night I came home and I had some clothes in the chair in my room. And when I opened the door, I jumped like shit because it looked like somebody was sitting there. And all I could think of, I said,
heard
one
about
of
a deal
these
you want,
days,
nigga.
yes, I said, one of these days, I'm gonna say that shit, and this nigga's gonna be sitting like so old. I'm like, nigga, what? So I said, stop saying that, stop putting that out there in the world and stuff. So that was that. But your man, I want before we go, your man, what's up with your man Nicholas Cannon? He's doing it again.
Man, Nick, no Eve Cannon, man. Adam, no Eve. Listen, he is going to repopulate this earth one way or another. Listen, yo, Nick Cannon. Now I believe there was an interview. Now I'm not too well versed on the interview, but I believe that this is his 10th child. His 10th child to be on the way now.
10th, like 10. As in 9, then 10.
10, as in all your fingers. All your fingers and both your thumbs. And he does photo shoots. They always look so happy. First of all, I need to know how much Nick is worth because he's got to be loaded. Nick has got to be loaded. But I believe this rash of pregnancies came when Nick was diagnosed with an autoimmune deficiency. Now it isn't AIDS when you use that acronym, but he does have I want to say it's lupus-like. If I'm not mistaken, or I'm not well versed on his medical condition, but I know that it was at one point life-threatening. With that being said, this may be an edge of the bed situation with Nick Cannon right now. It can't be.
This ain't no edge of the bed.
You don't think this is a conscious decision?
Let me go look something up real quick. I need to know how much your man Nicholas is worth.
How much is Nick Cannon's net worth? Please.
$20 million. Now
it can't be. It can't be just no $20 million.
First off, it's still millions. I'm telling you, say $20 million. They say his salary is $5 million a year. No, according to various sources, as of 2022, his annual income is $2 million or whatever. Now, granted, they just said 40. All right, now it's saying 45. Now we act like 45. Just because. Now, when they say the crazy thing is, just because they say your net worth is 20 million, I think they're talking about like in the recent years and stuff. Because if he made 20 million in the last few years, I'm pretty sure he's sitting on like 70 million somewhere. Right. He ain't spending that.
And I know that's misleading for a fact. Shout out to my guy Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson.
Okay.
He did an interview a while back. Now Chad has made over 150 million in contracts over his NFL career. He had an interviewer look up his net worth while they sat there. And the interviewer looked it up and they said he was only worth $1.5 to $2 million. And Chad basically went through line by line and showed him like, yo, I only spent 13 million of my contract money. I have all of my money still from just being a frugal guy from one car.
He was talking about the Moissanite jewelry. You don't got to wear real jewelry and stuff.
Yeah, he was wearing rhinestones because you just believed him to have real diamonds in his ears.
He's got money, yeah.
Exactly. So those I said that to say that the net worth on the internet can be very misleading, unless it came from Forbes, and that still can be a little shaky. I believe Nick Cannon to be worth more than some damn $20 million.
He probably at least I believe Nick is probably closer to 100 million. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's had the Wildin' Out deals. Nick's had
movies deal. He's had things. Right. And like I said, it's not like as soon as they get the money, they spend every single dime. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right.
Think about we say Will Smith, he gets $25 million a movie. Yeah. So he's not just worth 25. How many times he don't got 25 million in a movie?
Right.
Like that. So this is why he's in the triple digits. But I say all that to say, I don't understand what Nick is doing in terms because one kid has got all my goddamn attention.
A lot, right?
And I'm looking like, so you just want to be home forever and all this other stuff, and he doesn't. Somebody said before that's a lot of broken homes because the women they definitely don't care because they looking like, yo, so I'm going to be taken care of for the rest of my life. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? For at least 18 years.
you can provide. I definitely don't doubt that he has the means to provide for these children, whether it be, tuition or day to day. I know he can afford that, but it's being a father, man. Like, you can't do that shit 10 times. Like, you can't be 10 places at once. You can't solve 10 problems at a time. Like, now I know that they're not going to all have problems at the same time, but let's say for shits and giggles that you've got two very talented and very successful children out of that 10 group, right?
Yes.
And they're in different parts of the country, and you want to be there for both of those kids. You
Yep.
can't. You've got to make a choice at that point, unless there is some special contract where it says, okay, I have, and even if there is some special contract, love don't, a child's mind doesn't understand the concept of, well, my mother has an agreement with my dad that he doesn't have to be here until the third Christmas of the winter solstice, or every fourth moon is when my dad comes up. Like, how do you break that down that your children get equal time? Like, if you can do it, if you have found a way to do this, Nick Cannon, please write the book and enlighten us on how we can have multiple children and be a father in multiple homes. But to me, in the most traditional sense, I don't understand how you can be a father to 10 children the same age at the same time.
My thing is this, what's so crazy? What he escapes is the stigma of a deadbeat father because he's a millionaire. Because,
right.
People in the hood, all of them is considered deadbeat fathers. By all accounts, Jody, Baby Boy, which is a lot of women's favorite film, he clearly had a daughter that we seen one time. And he was only with his son, little Jody. And they don't even talk about the other one. So by all accounts, this nigga was a deadbeat father to the daughter, and nobody said nothing else about it.
Right. But there are other and I won't say deadbeat. I will say this. I will say that I grew up in a household with my father up until I was a teenager. Me and my father did not have the best relationship growing up. And I attribute it to this, because knowing my father as the man that he is now, I feel like my father was a type like this. I can't teach you the fundamentals, but once you get to all-star level, I can give you the tips and the trades that you need once you're on this level.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My dad was there, but we didn't have too many conversations until I became a grown-ass man. Mm-hmm. Now, I was able to understand where he was coming from and appreciate. That doesn't mean I wasn't missing things as a child, and we've had those conversations, as men now. But that's another form of negligent fatherhood. You can be in the house and still not be present.
Yes.
So I mean that's a whole nother another end. So let's not just beat up on deadbeats, because there are niggas who are in the house who still ain't doing shit. Yeah. They just there. So I said, I commend you as a father, sir, because you are extremely active, like to the point where we've had conversations. I know what your son eats for lunch eats for snack when he gets home. Like, so there are parents who are involved. So I just, as dads who are watching this, because I know we have a male following as well, that it's not enough just to be there. Talk to your kids as well, man. Impart some knowledge on them. Please let them, like, you have been through this already. Give them the cheat codes so that they don't have to make the same mistakes that you do. Now, they may not have the same opportunities and the same trials and tribulations, because hopefully you've made it a little better for them. Mm-hmm. But they still need, they don't have to be tough. Your kids don't have to grow up in the hood to be good people.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, street credit is one of them, is irredeemable. Ain't shit you can buy with street credit. Mm-hmm. Your kids don't need to go to city schools to get tough. They need to go get the best education.
Yeah.
Like, these are, I'm sorry. I mean, I hate to get on
a
tangent.
No, I mean, keep flowing.
These are things that I've encountered in the school system and dealing with young men that I see all the time, and dealing with my counterparts and my compadres, and hearing how we want our children. Of course, you want your kids to have that street edge, but that shit ain't necessary, dog. It's not necessary at all to have some. I mean, of course, you want a little bit. You want some guff to your kids, but you can teach them that. They don't have to go to the street and get it.
Yes.
You can teach your son to be a man and stand up for himself without having to involve herself in stupid shit out in the street.
Yeah, because well, everything you just said, and I appreciate what you said, my son, because it was a time where I was physically present, but I wasn't present. I can admit that now. I had to work on that because in my mind, being a one-time father, I'm here. And
I'm here, right.
The difference between being present and being present. There are two different things. Same word, two different meanings. Two different meanings and how they're being used. So I understood that, and I had to work on being like, you know what, you have to pour into, you have to do things. And
man.
You know, I've had times where it was like, oh well, at some point he gonna come this way. Like my son, he's decent. And what I mean by decent, of course I say he's a good kid, but he's a decent kid because I can see it already where when we're out, he'll see, and it's crazy because I have to control myself because it infuriates me when he says hi to somebody and they don't speak back.
Man.
I don't really play that. I'm the voice when it comes with that. And honestly, it's not women because they always speak. Women are, you know,
always speak. Always speak. Right.
But there's been a few times if I say hi to somebody, he takes it as cue as who he speaks to. And if he's like this, I've seen him be like, hi, and they keep walking. One time I was in the gym, dude kept walking. I grabbed him. I said, yo, he said, hi. Oh, yeah, what's up, little man? I don't know. Like, but I mean to tell you, that's not me losing my mind, but I definitely felt my, you know what I'm saying? Like, he spoke. You better speak back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or we have a problem.
Like, what you mean?
It was literally like I was so crazy with it at times, and of course it's got better. It's nothing like that. That I'm looking like, yo, I'll stop messing with niggas because of stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, you
can't speak to my son, nigga. You can't speak to me.
Right. Exactly. You can't speak to my son. Don't say nothing to me.
Don't say nothing to me.
Don't say nothing to me.
Right,
but nah, this was a great episode. We got a lot of chance to get a lot of stuff off and everything. As y'all see, Devin, the brother, is back now, so he's going to be on episodes, and you know we're gonna get some things going and stuff. And Noche's View, it'll be out. We'll see y'all. Peace.
Peace out.